Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Monique with the LadyPreneurs on Fire Freedom Seekers Live. It's a mouthful. Episode 19, but it has been a while. So I'm a little bit nervous. I'm using a different program. I had blue teeth 10 minutes ago, so I don't know what is happening. But today I'm going to talk with a wonderful lady. I met her about a year ago for the Mompreneurs on Fire Summit. And she was a part of it, and we had an amazing interview. She just said to me that when we are talking, she wasn't aware that it was going to be recorded, but she will tell you a little bit about that later. She's an amazing woman. She has done already so many things that I think, okay, she's a very strong woman, and I will get her, add her to the live stream so we can talk more with her. So with no further ado, here is Maritza. Good afternoon, good morning for you.
Yes, good morning. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
That is so funny for me. It's sorry.
Can you hear
Tell
me?
me. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
No, I said it's so funny for you. It's morning for me. It's in the evening, and there is also somebody in between. So that is so funny how these things work and how we can connect so globally. So first of all, thank you, Maritza, for taking the time and for being the first one on the relaunch from the Freedom Seekers show. Because with the upcoming summit on the 23rd of May, I interrupted it a little bit because there was so much to do, but I'm really grateful that you are here with me today. So tell us, who is Maritza? Can you tell us a little bit more? Can you introduce yourself?
Oh, I would love to. Thank you so much. So let's just begin by saying that, as my mom would say, I am one of the most passionate, hardworking individuals on this planet, but I'm also a mother of three amazing children, two that are in their late 20s, early 30s, one that is 14 years of age. I became a mom to that 14-year-old when I was 41 years old, and used to laugh about it because I thought I was getting ready to travel and enjoy, the kids graduating from high school, but life took a little bit of a different road, and I have loved every minute of it. I am originally from Laredo, Texas, which is right by the border of Mexico, and I am Hispanic by descent. Went to high school there, was always very athletic and very studious, and eventually married, went to college, and ended up in Houston, where I started getting my first opportunities of being an entrepreneur. So in a nutshell, that is who I am.
So the LadyPreneurs is all about ladypreneurs. Last year it was mompreneur. You are a mompreneur. You are a ladypreneur. So
Right.
You said you stumbled on being an entrepreneur. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, and actually it was very interesting because my background is in psychology, as you noted before, psychology, sociology, borderland economics. But in 1996, I was unfortunate to go through a divorce, had two babies, and I was invited to a meeting in financial services. Had never in my life even really knew what network marketing was, but it was a financial services company in network marketing. And I remember feeling when I was there, the energy and the excitement and the camaraderie, and also the questioning of, can I do this? Is this for me? We had just moved to Houston and I really didn't have a lot of friends. So I thought, how do you recruit? How do you talk to people? How do you do this? But I needed to learn for myself everything that had to do with finances, because unfortunately, although I was an extremely educated individual at this time, I was also, what's the word? I was also lacking in financial knowledge and independence. And so was very scared. I thought, I don't know. I didn't even know what a mortgage really was. I didn't really understand savings and investments. And with two little ones, it became a desire, but it also became a need for me to catch up, like do what I needed to do to get smart, when it came to this. So that was actually my first go around with financial services. And I did that for from about 1996 to about 2007.
Okay.
So it was a good length of time for me, anyways.
It was also a successful time. That is what you told me last year.
Yes.
But why did you stop doing that business? Was there a reason? Because I know you also had a different business that had nothing to do with an online
Right.
network marketing, but there was also a part in between. Is that correct?
There was. And in network marketing, one of the beauty about network marketing, for those of you that are watching this, because I don't ever want to discourage anybody, but I do want to be very real to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
In the business of network marketing, we can only control ourselves, and we can always just do the best for ourselves. What ended up happening was that the company itself folded. They
Mm-hmm.
went out of business. And when they did, it left me in a place of, now what do I do? And so I became very still. Thank God I was licensed. So I was actually able to transition from the network marketing world into now a world where I was still self-employed. I didn't necessarily have to go and work for anyone,
Mm-hmm.
utilizing my licenses. So, but now I wasn't recruiting. Now I was just basically utilizing those licenses for myself. And so I did that up until about 2015, when I was introduced to a health and wellness beauty line, company out of Florida. And to be honest with you, had it not been for that little cream that they put under the eyes and the wrinkles went away in 2 minutes, I probably wouldn't have paid any attention to them, because my entire career had always been in financial services. But
Mm-hmm.
vanity took me in a different direction. And but you know what, it turned out to be, again, one of the most amazing rides. And I say that very truthfully, because it had its ups and downs, but it was one of the most amazing rides of my life. Because in the course of that, not only did I meet, and still today, some lifelong friends, but it allowed me the opportunity of competing in some of the challenges that they had, whether in my case, it was a weight loss transformation. I ended up winning that challenge and was put on HLN, which then helped me to launch my own personal Burn Fat with Ritz brand.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was able to actually start my own supplement line.
Okay.
So you just never know, where these experiences will take you. You think you're going in one direction, and then all of a sudden all these doors open up. Plus the fact that I met the most amazing people that had also made a lot of money. And that's the other thing, Monique, that is so beautiful about network marketing. A lot of times we label ourselves, and we don't want to maybe socialize with individuals that we feel have a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
maybe because we feel that we're not quite at their level, or maybe we're intimidated by the fact that we don't have as much. But in network marketing, it's a very different world, because it's people from all walks of life that are willing to share with you what it is and what it takes, and associate with you. So you build relationships with people that are multimillionaires and people that are just getting started, and you form these beautiful families. And we know, as the saying goes, if you want to become a millionaire, hang out with people that already are making that money, so that it'll shorten that path for you.
Yeah, that's
So
so
yes.
true. That was one of the, to be honest, last year, one of the stress points that I had, because I spoke to a lot of people, but I was, before I was quickly intimidated by people that had money. That was a money mindset block that I had to overcome. So I really understand what you're saying, because that is something that I think a lot of people have. People think that when you have money, they value more, but that has nothing to do with each other. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of money or if you don't. It is the person that you are that is more important than what you have in your bank account. So you can be a really good person with a lot of money, but also with none of it, as you can be a really bad person with a lot of money, or with without any money. So you said something before we started this live. We had a little chat. You said something about opportunities, and that was one of my questions that I wanted to ask you, because those last, let's say, 24, 28 months have been very strange. We were talking about how one door shuts, another door can open. A lot of people are hesitant, and how do we say that, they think they are going, something happens, something that they didn't expect, or something bad happens to them, and they say, okay, it's over, I cannot do this is not possible for me. And I told you that I was somebody who forced everything. I need to do that. So I didn't had a lot of opportunities coming to me. Since a few years, I don't force anymore. I say, okay, I leave it up to whoever you can call it. Is it the universe? Is it God, or whatever? And I see that many more opportunities come to me that I can choose and pick. How is that for you? How were especially those last few years for you, opportunity-wise?
Right. Well, interestingly enough, through the course of having started my own brand, I also started my own meal prep business, and it started to flourish. So I was coaching, both in the nutrition and the health side here in the Houston area, and I was meal prepping. I was cooking for all of my clients.
Wow.
And when the pandemic hit, well, unfortunately, everything was frozen. But I had parents that were older in age, and I knew by the look in my mom's face when we were doing a live, that she was scared, and I knew they were going to need help. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, dear Lord Jesus, if I leave now, how in the world am I going to be able to sustain myself financially? Because the bulk of my business at that time was the coaching and the meal prepping. And of course, I didn't want to cook for anybody because I didn't understand what was going on. And the last thing I wanted was for them to get something and then say, oh, it was Maritza's enchiladas. I was like, oh my God, I'd never forget myself. So long story short, I ended up going to Laredo and being with my parents, and I started to become very studious of videos that were being posted regarding the grants and unemployment benefits, especially for those people that were self-employed, because those benefits had never been allotted to any of us before. The PPP loans, all of these things. And so I thought, well, wait a minute. All of this is in English. What is going to happen to all of the population that only speaks Spanish? They're going to be left out. So I started making videos in English and in Spanish of these benefits that were being allotted by the federal government and state government, so that nobody would be left behind. I just had this conviction in my heart and said, well, if I can't cook, I don't know where this is taking me, but I had a calling to do this, make these videos. Well, lo and behold, it was so interesting because it threw me back into financial services. And those people that were watching the videos were now reaching out to me personally and saying, will you help me? Wow. Will you help me? And of course, that built a clientele of people, number one, that were very thankful, but also an abundance of clients that I probably would never have gotten had this opportunity not lended itself, and had I not taken that risk, because it really was, because I was so scared, and just listen to that inner voice that said, go take care of your mom and dad, and everything else will be taken care of for you. And that's exactly what happened for me anyways. That was my reality.
I just want to emphasize to the audience, did you hear what Maritza said? She made a decision. She did something that she felt in her heart she had to do, and she was scared, but she did it anyway. And that is something that is really important. It doesn't matter if something scares you. Do it anyway, because the first time it's maybe this is my 19th Ladypreneurs on Fire, but in total I did over 250, 260 lives. Wow. The first one, I was almost peeing myself, especially because it was in French. My husband is French, and then after a year I transitioned to English. And when I heard my videos, I said, oh, I talk too slow. I'm searching for my words. I think that is crazy. It is putting yourself out there, and you have value in, and you gave value, and that is what blew up, and what happened. And you did so many good things for those people. So that is really a message that I think is important today. So Maritza, and then what happened? Because
So
that's not the end of the story.
no, 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 not at all. So, of course, when I came back to Houston, I had been sought out now, going back into the investment world. And I just kept hearing that voice, some of the things, and I think some of the errors that we make. And I can't remember the person that wrote the book. It's completely slipping my mind. But I remember having read a book that was explaining to you to be very true to yourself, but listen to your calling. Every single one of us is called to do something. I knew that my calling was in service, and I knew that that was my purpose. However, I couldn't figure out a way to pay my bills with so much volunteer work. And I said, but then I also remembered faith. You know, sometimes that fear eludes us because we forget that if you have that already in your spirit and in your heart, you've got to walk by faith. And so that's what I started doing. And then, of course, was able to then open up an office here in Houston doing financial services in the investment world, having to do with the foreign exchange markets. And that also brought me back into a network marketing company, which I was very thankful for because I transitioned from the health and beauty industry back into the recruitment and in the building. I like to use that word better because I'm not really recruiting. I'm sharing a passion that I have that I've become very good at. And through education and knowledge, we're able to empower each other. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, that's kind of where the journey that life brought me to. And it's been fun. It's been very profitable. But I do know that one of the things that I've had to do for myself is be true to me. Mm-hmm. I have to be true to me because we all have opportunities and callings, but a lot of times because other people are so excited and so passionate, we want to feel that too because it's such a feel-good feeling. But we know that we're lying to ourselves and we know that's not going to work for us. But at the end of the day, we try. So there's nothing wrong with trying. It's just being true to who you are. Yeah. So now I'm at a crossroads, but a very positive crossroads. I had a calling that I received back in October of last year. And it was to get back into the possibility of corporate America, which I have not been in over 31 years. Yeah. And so that was a very big challenge for me, but very exciting. And I thought, well, if this path has opened up for me, and in the past, I've always been shown that if I'm obedient to the calling, everything else falls in place. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what's happened.
Oh, wow.
So yes, ma'am.
So can I call you a little bit the master pivoter? I don't know if that's so. You master the pivoting, the
pivoting, yes,
adapting. I when I say that, I hear Ross say pivot. I don't know if you saw it in France, but that is something that you need to do in life. You need to pivot all the time because if you don't pivot, then you are going to be stuck. Isn't that true?
It is. And one of the biggest things that I've seen in the job that I currently have, most of the people that are there in management have been there 30, 40. Some people have been there, 41 years. And although I see that as very honorable and I see that what a journey, what a life, right? But here's the letdown to that for me personally, obviously not to them because they love what they do. But the letdown for me is the lack of fun in other experiences.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that for me is a non-negotiable. Yeah. I have to ensure that while I am on this planet, I give myself permission to live. Yeah. Really live and really enjoy other opportunities. And as my mom says, because we were laughing, and she says, because my brother and my sister have been in a position for many, many years and they love it and they're very good at it. They both work for the federal government. And yet me, I've had so many jobs through the course of all of these years. And my mom says, but of all of the three, I envy you. And I envy you because you're not afraid to go out and do what you believe you're going to really love. And so you say, if it works, awesome. And if it doesn't, I tried. Yeah. I tried and I got to enjoy it and I got to meet new people. And so that is, that's probably a good pointer to all of you that are watching is, don't just survive, learn to really live, because there's so much to live for.
Yeah, so
Yes.
true.
Yes.
I think by getting older, we also realize that we only have one life. And how
Right.
do we want to spend it? And I read something the other day. They said, do you want to be a warning, or do you want to be an inspiration when you die?
Wow.
And I thought that was so profound, because we always talk about regrets, but how do you want to end your life? As a warning for others, you shouldn't do it like that, or as an inspiration, I could do it like that. So that is something that I really love. So to get back to the ladypreneurs side, when you were still an entrepreneur, because you still are an entrepreneur, but you are also what are 3 to 5 non-negotiables on a day that you think that every ladypreneur should do for her business?
Number one, it is extremely important that you work on personal development. That is a non-negotiable for me. The books that I read and the things that I listen to every single morning, before I entertain conversations with anybody else. This has been a habit now of mine for almost 27 years. I will get up, I'll give thanks, and then I start immediately into personal development. Huge for me. Number two also is, and I think that these past 28 years really taught us to be more of this, is our health. Our health, our exercise, our eating habits, non-negotiables for me. Not that I don't enjoy, food every once in a while, or food that I know is not very, very good for me. But it is extremely important that we always focus on ensuring that we control our bodies. We control what goes into our minds and what goes into our mouths, and what we listen to. Our subconscious mind is picking that up so quickly that we need to make sure that we're feeding ourselves with positivity.
Yeah.
Number three, also a huge non-negotiable. No one on this planet will ever again have the ability to take away my joy. And I used to give it away so freely, Monique, where people would get mad at me and then I'd get mad too. Or people would yell at me and I would yell too. Or people would say something negative and I would be negative too. And I thought, no, that's a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
My joy and the control of my emotions belongs to me. Yes. And to only me. And so I will put a shield. I'll listen to you. I'll smile through it. I'll help you through the frustrations, but they are not my frustrations, and I refuse to make them my frustrations. The other, number four, would be read. Yeah. Read. And choose your circle of friends wisely, number one. And number two, make sure that you don't have a lot of close friends. And I learned this through an individual that said to me, Maritza, you can't have 10 best friends, because if at the end of the day, at 3:00 in the morning, you've got 10 calling you because they've got a flat tire, you're not going to be served. You're not going to be able to be of service, of true love and service to all of them. But if you keep that circle of friends small, you will always be able to be there for those that you really love and cherish. And so again, what you feed your mind, non-negotiable. What you feed your body, non-negotiable. Personal development. And of course, never again, and this is a non-negotiable, never again will any job, any opportunity, nothing come before my family and my children. I will turn every opportunity down, because as a young woman starting as an entrepreneur, there were events that my little ones were being honored with. And because I had a conference in San Antonio, I was speaking in another place, I missed those. And I look back now and I think, I'm not even with those companies anymore. Why did I sacrifice those special moments? I'll never do it again. So those, to me, like I said, those are my top non-negotiables. Family is utmost of importance to me. And that's what brings me so much joy. Yes.
I love them. I also love the part that you say personal development, because I'm a huge fan of personal development. Yes. You know that I read a lot. I read differently than a few years ago. But what would be a book that you could share with the audience that you read and that impacted you, and why?
I'll tell you what, and it's going to be unusual for those of you that are watching this, because again, you've got to understand I'm so eccentric. But one of my favorite books, and it's been one of my recent books, is a book called Untamed by Glennon Doyle. And I don't know if you guys have had the opportunity of reading it, but I'll tell you what, and here's why. It's not your personal development book per se, but it is about a woman who came into herself later in her late 20s, early 30s, who discovered that she had been living a lie in her life. And I thought, wow. Now, although my situation was not like hers, but I found it very similar in how we do not give ourselves permission to be who we're supposed to be because of fear of what our families are going to say, of what society is going to say, of how society views us or our family views us. And what Glennon Doyle said in this book in Untamed was, we only have one life and it is ours. It is ours. Live it to your truth, whatever that is, because I guarantee that if you live in your truth, everything else will be okay. It is when you live in your lie, it is when you're not your most authentic self, that chaos comes and you attract. The other book that has also been probably one of the most impactful for me, because I tend to be so ADD and all over the place, is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Oh my goodness. And I read it at least once or twice a year. I listen to it also on Audible, because we get very caught up in the yesterday and we get very caught up in the tomorrow, especially those of us that are entrepreneurs, because we're goal seekers. You know, we have our goals, we've got them written down, we're visionaries, we have all these beautiful things, but what we forget is the beauty of the right now, this interview. I am so focused on just us right now. Everything else can wait, because my moment, our moment, is living it at this moment, right? Is in the now. And so that's probably been, for me, the most significant two books that I'm going to say over the past year and a half I've gone back to read, because it's a reminder. Now, not that I don't have, you know, How to Win Friends and Influence People, not that there haven't been other amazing books out there, but the ones that I think have made the most significance to me in allowing me that freedom have been Untamed and The Power of Now.
Wow, beautiful.
Yes.
Maritza, we are almost at the end of this lovely talk. It's not an interview, it's more a talk. I wanted to be like that also because you have so many amazing stories to share. And I think stories are what people remind the best. When you remember the little stories that your father or your mother told you when you were little, those are the things that you remember. So while we're going to wrap this up, do you have some last words of wisdom, and also where can people reach out to you if they have questions?
Awesome. Yes, I do. I want everyone watching, give yourself permission to live in joy. Truly, truly do that. Also, make sure that you focus. Really stay focused on those goals and what it is that you want in the power of now. But most importantly, also understanding the power of our minds and the importance of focusing on what you want as opposed to focusing on what you don't want. And that is very, 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 it's a powerful thing, because where energy flows, that's exactly where what is it, where energy flows, attention goes. I needed to remind myself, as Anthony Robbins says, and it's true. It's true. You can't want success, you can't want good fortune if you're focusing on the lack of. So for me, those are going to be my words of advice to everyone watching. Live fully, love deeply. And for those of you that want to reach out to me, you can reach me directly off of my Facebook page, which is Maritza Gonzalez Willis. You can also reach me off of my own website, which is iamritz.com. And so Instagram, it's the same thing, you know, Maritza Gonzalez Willis, or even my YouTube channel, which is Maritza Gonzalez Willis.
Oh,
so,
I will put it in the comments that people
Yes.
can reach out to you. So thank you, Maritza, for this interview. I really, really loved it, like the last one, and I hope that we keep in touch and that we can talk. I will put a link to your talk on the Mompreneurs on Fire show, if that's okay with you, of course. And
yes.
And I wish you all the best. I will let me know how it goes with all your plans, because I really want to know all about it.
I will. And thank you for all that you do for us women. I think that you're the common denominator in all of us. And you're beautiful. You are so inspiring. And I know, speaking for myself, and I'm sure other women that will be entertaining, you throughout the month. We're blessed to have you in our lives. And I think that for me, that's what you've been. You've been a true blessing, and we love you and we thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing, because you've got a lot of fans out here. So great job. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Maritza, and all
You're
the
welcome.
best, and have a great day today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, out there, wasn't she amazing? She did also an amazing talk last year on the Mompreneurs on Fire summit, and there will be a new summit coming up. I will also put the link to her on that summit. So I hope you enjoyed this talk with Maritza. If you have questions, please reach out to her. Her link is in this description, and write down those golden nuggets that she told you, because only by writing down you are going to remember them and then implement them. Because if there is something that is important, it's not only listening to something or reading something, but really start implementing it, because that is the only way that you can have more results in your life. If it's business or if it's personal or in relationships, you have to implement what you learn. Otherwise, it is only self-help and you do nothing with it. So for today's episode, I wish you all the best, and reach out to me if you have questions or if there's something that you like to do. The next episode will be on next Thursday. I will announce it tomorrow, so you can see who is my special guest on Thursday. And for now, I wish you a great day, a great evening, or a great morning. Bye.